11:59 at Radio Free America, and this is Uncle Sam with music and the truth until dawn. Right now, I got a few words for some of our brothers and sisters in the occupied zone. The chair is against the wall. The chair is against the wall. John has a long mustache. John has a long mustache. It's 12 o'clock, Americans, another day closer to victory. And for all of you out there on or behind the lines, this is your song.
There we go. Now I'm in here. Oh, wait. I got new headphones today, so let me know if this is sounding better, because I got new headphones today. We're also streaming live to theguntube.org today as well, so we got that going for us. I've got a heater going and a fan, and a dog's going to come in here at some point and start licking water, so looking for some feedback on the audio. Got the new headset going. G23 is out there. Right on, thank you. Okay, so here we go. I was going to start it out with this, but I forgot to click the button. So I'm going to go over here to the 2005 remix of the song that is winning the, what is this called? A poll over here on the YouTube. So on Fridays now, thing we do is go back to the 80s when songs were good and ask people to vote on their best song. Can you hear this? With this new headset, does this come through? Can you hear there's a song playing in the background? I have a song playing quietly in the background. Can you hear it? I'm sure at this point I'm copyrighted, but that's what's winning right now. If you're looking at the screen, you're looking at our YouTube channel and our community tab where you can do polls. I'm going to put a link over there because right now the poll for the best Talking Heads song is tied between Psycho Killer and Burning Down the House. I'm all right with Psycho Killer. It's not my favorite or nothing. There's actually quite a few weird Talking Head songs that I like, but Psycho Killer is too, like, what's the word? Mainstream or whatever. It's like the one they play on the radio more. So I don't know how to spell it, but eventually, well, I'm not going to play it. I'm already copyrighted, but you've heard it before. So if you want to vote on that, feel free. There's also a poll going on this video. We may remember to go back. Somebody might remind us to go back and look at the Talking Heads poll. Otherwise, that's just there for everybody's fun and amusement on the YouTube channel. So over here, we have a poll going for how was this week for 2A, a traditional poll for the weekly wrap-up. And it looks like this week, people saying it's only an okay week. Those people are all wrong. So let's see, we have 5 votes. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So that's 2 people that are wrong. One person's very wrong. This person debatedly could be wrong, but they're probably right, but they're probably wrong. And this person is right because it was an amazing week. So let's dig in. All right, so you could look at it the way we used to look at it here on YouTube, the description of this video, if you want. It's one way to do it. But since there's no pictures and no fun over here, we don't do it over on YouTube anymore. Now we do it on Patreon. Why? Because look, I can add pictures and bold face and italic and stuff, so it just makes it easier to look at. So there's a link in the description, and I'll just drop a link right now for you. Go enjoy it over on Patreon. Patreon, like watching it on YouTube is like watching it at a regular movie theater. Watching it on Patreon is like going to one of them fancy movie theaters where they got the nice couches or whatever. All right, so let's dig in. John Crump. Some people like John Crump, and most people hate John Crump. Well, not most people. A lot of people hate John Crump. And now those people are, if they're the kind of people that joy in other people's issues, are going to be singing out of both faces, I guess, because Crump interviewed this dude and then there was consequences. So that's happening, and I'm not going to talk about it too much, but some people got to see that live, and that's actual history. That's actual stuff that'll have a footprint, period. That's going to be interesting. I got a runny nose all of a sudden. Could you hear that? I was wiping my nose with a piece of paper towel. Give me some feedback on that. There's one person listening. Is that G23? Let's see. So then we get Locked and Loaded, of course, had their show this week. It was a good one. They chatted about a bunch of different things, and I need to start taking notes because it's not fair to these shows when I like them, but I listen to them at the beginning of the week and I just can't remember. What are going to be, we have yet to see. What we experienced was the earthquake. Now we're going to see how everything settles and how many foundations were broken. Oh no, they're not going to do anything. We're talking, oh, look at this. I forgot what this does. What does this do? What did that do? Oh, that made it so that I can go back and look at it later. That's right. We got this new thing. See what I'm doing over here? So unlike a lot of shows that don't care about the people watching the show, this is a discussion. It's not about people watching the show. You're part of the show. So, a third to a quarter of the screen. I have a very wide monitor, so it's hard to say exactly how much of the monitor is being used up. But, we're watching the comments over here. So, erstwhile, I don't know, whatever channel you're signed on with is saying, what were the consequences? And then did they change their name from something other than NAGR? No, that's what they named their shit, and that's what they were proud of their weird ass name. So no, it's not that. They're not going to go. I don't think that's the consequence. But like I say, it's actually in process. So I'm going to wait and talk about that when it's appropriate. But like I say, there's people that were paying attention and are paying attention, and yeah, you only get to see interesting things happen once in a while. And we just got to see something interesting happen. All right, next up is Locked and Loaded. Like I was saying, I think that it's not a service to them because I can't remember everything that it chatted about. They did a 2-hour something video again, chatting about the various things. Now, they got some new video game coming out, so they played a lot of video gaming. And what am I going to do? That's their thing. And they're talking about 2A, so it's interesting. I've been actually watching it. But it's a bunch of, some new video games. So there's a whole bunch of people paying attention to that. Yeah, exactly. A lot of people have that problem. That's why I don't like to scare anyone. I'm only using a normal size monitor right now. Look, even I can't even use it. I'd have to push it way over here. That's only because the internet isn't up to our level of width. See, the internet's only so wide. Oh, you know what I could do, though? I forgot. I can make it bigger for you people. Let's do that. Now we're talking. Now you can read it. Look at that. That's way better. Again, that's the kind of stuff that other channels don't even bother with. They don't care about you. Let's open this up. There. So I'm trying to remember what else they talked about, and I'm not going to be able to. Too much stuff happened this week. It was a good show, though. And then at the end of it, they talked about, or they left a segment on Pearl Harbor that was pretty awesome. And then they chopped that off and posted it as a separate standalone and posted that on Anniversary. So very, very classy. I thought that was pretty cool. And very few channels bothered to even do anything. So very cool. What is classified as a normal monitor and what is one of those high? This isn't so much high capacity as it's extended range, I think. Or maybe it's the capacity would be the number of resolutions, and this one isn't very high on the resolutions. That's why I was able to get it so cheap. The little kids ain't interested in this kind because of the video games don't play good on it, I think. So this is sort of like a ban issue, a ban era Dragunov. It's long and it looks neat, but it only has a 10-round mag. So suicide prevention Saturday. Brooke Cheney does the effort every Saturday, and we have a couple of things. I didn't post everything very well this week, so I'm thinking some of these are out of order. And I usually do these in order of priority, so I'm putting this one towards the top. She had another good episode, and this was one of the first times I was able to watch live. So pretty stoked on that. Often it's being corked by somebody else's show, like Barbecue or somebody who just doesn't care. And It was cool to be able to watch it live. DJ was in there, and yeah, it's just cool. So again, a constant or a consistent effort to bring awareness to the fact that 2 out of every 3 deaths with a firearm are suicides. So we can take gun laws off of the table, completely off the playing field, by agreeing to work with the other side to prevent suicides and provide mental health access and awareness. I mean, we can literally save lives by taking gun control off the table. And no one wants to talk about that, right? No one wants to talk about that because they're making money by not talking about that. But here's somebody with 142 subs that's putting stuff down every Saturday, literally the pieces that are the Lego blocks that you can make a new future without gun laws, literally, and save fucking lives. And who are those lives? We all know those are vets. So I don't know who I'm looking at. I'm looking over here. I'm used to having a headphone on. I'm looking at somebody over here, which I'm looking at my other monitor. Anyhow, so I think having this headset on is reminding me of back in the old days when we used to do some stuff where I had monitors on and there was other people in the room. All right. I'm also freaked out a little bit because we're simulcast into the gun tube. At least let's double check. We should be simulcast into the gun tube tonight. And that's why it's telling me that I can't. Yeah, see, here we are live over on the boom, right at the top of gun tube. Boom. Why don't you join us live over on the gun tube? Are you scared? Scared to go to the gun tube? That's pretty cool. So anyway, it's telling me that I can't stream comments over there because GunTube doesn't get enough funding to be able to provide the stream of comments. They have the technology, it just costs money, and they're not able to provide the funding for that. All right, so next up is, I don't want to disregard that post, though, from Brooke. So not only did DJ and I get to watch that live and participate in it again, actually we got to watch it live last week too, but it was cool because Brooke had participated in Barbecue's big event over our Gear Website store, and maybe I didn't. I thought I had a list in here or a link in here to, I guess not, to the video I posted earlier yesterday, I guess. So yesterday I posted a video with the Thank You Thursday list of stuff that we sent over to Brooke. So Brooke purchased a bunch of stuff from the store, and we said thanks by sending her a bunch of our loot. So check that out. I guess I didn't link to it, though. Let's see. Then we have, hopefully he'll never be able to do that once the thing gets bigger so that he doesn't have the chance. You know, there'd be too many happening. Let's see. So next up would be Minnesota Gun Report. You know, that happens on quite often. Their report is good. It has a little technical glitch. They're trying to be too fancy, and they're sending out too high of bit rate or whatever it is. They're sending out too many of these pixels that, you know what I'm saying? So they're trying to be really good, and it ain't working. So they lose a bunch of frames. Their audio was decent, but whatever. At least they're out there doing it. Not every state is online, and not every state is efforting to put forth a consistent report or update and alerts, right? So Minnesota is doing that to their credit. It's just that they're trying to be so fancy about it that it ends up not being all that great production-wise. However, it was pretty interesting. They talked about their 2021 banquet, and well, I guess every organization has them. I know we have one here in Arizona. I didn't get to go this year. I would get to go about half the time, but I'm broke. I didn't get to go. But the one in Minnesota seemed pretty interesting. So it was cool to get a report of that and to see some photos and stuff. Oh, is my internet bad? What's going on here? Am I breaking up? Am I losing connection? If I get some feedback on that. What's DJ clicking on? I can't see what that is because of something. What do these S's mean? Does that mean your channel members? That might mean your channel members. So thanks to these guys that are channel members over on the YouTube. Let's see. So then, I don't know what that link is to. Probably to Brooke. I'm going to assume it's to Brooke. So it was interesting hearing about their banquet. I thought that was pretty cool. It was also cool to just see them keep developing. They're trying to be fancy, but it's better to be fancy than not try at all. So they're also getting feedback during their lives, and they're able to accept the feedback and act on it. So I'm sure that they're just going to continue to get better. And heck, it's Minnesota. They probably don't even have good wires up there. Let's see. Then you got Riding Shotgun with Charlie, and that was Grant Gallagher. Somebody refresh my memory, because I'm mixing it up with two other people. Oh, that's right. This guy, if Barbecue's watching, that's Mary Schuster Carlson or whatever I was telling him about with the goats. There was this guy, and he is some guy from Scotland or Scottishland, and it was an all right interview. They talked about SIG a lot. This guy's all into SIG, and they talked about the SIG Academy. I'd give it a 7 out of 10. Riding Shotguns with Charlie's wasn't the worst or nothing. It was decent. Right on. So, thanks. So let's see. Next up will be the fake ripoff of the Daily Gun Show. You know, they do this every couple of days. And this one was where they did the what guns would the Peanuts characters use. And I guess they're just going to continue that every day now, every show until Christmas. So that's pretty neat. I don't think anybody's done anything like that before. So I put it in here. They seem to be enjoying the shit out of it. So you might want to check it out. They're having a lot of fun coming up with the guns to fit the personalities of the various characters. And then each week it's a different set. So it was Muppets, and I don't know what all it's going to be. Smurfs and Barbie and those little ponies probably. I don't know. So next up will be Early Bird Takeover. What was all this about? Okay, so Gizzard got the chicken flu and decided not to go live because he was sick or whatever, I guess, you know, whatever. So then Foss took over one of them. He took over the Sunday show, and I believe it was during the Sunday show that, maybe I'm wrong. Oh yeah, it was during the Sunday show that Woods came in there. I was like, hey, you know what I'm going to do? If it's okay with everybody, I'm going to go ahead and make the guy from Tulsa. I'm going to make the dude from Tulsa into a 3D model. If everybody's okay with that. And then, right? And then that's when Woods was like, hell no, you're not. He's like, you better make my little bear dude. So then I was like, dang it. So I made his bear dude out of these two balls and a couple of tubes, and eventually fashion it into a crude bear robot looking thing. And then later off air finished it into, boom, creepy looking bear voodoo doll. Here's the deal. That's made out of plastic now, and you can get one of them by purchasing a bunch of stuff over at the Gear website store. It's pretty simple. Just buy a bunch of stuff, get cool stuff, including a voodoo doll of Woods. You could poke him in the bacon. You could wiggle his gun around. I don't know, do things to him. It's a voodoo doll. So let's see. I had a couple of videos playing around with that. And as soon as I get some time, I have video of the creation of it, I think. I usually do. So eventually I'll post a video that's all fast forwarded of the making of it eventually. With this new headset, that'll be a lot of fun, right? Yay. All right, next up is Jared did a video about the BS. Oh, snap. Is that the first? No, it's not the first sale all month, but it's the first sale this week. It's the only sale today. So thank you for that. Somebody ordered something from the store. Let's see. So Jared posted something earlier this week about. Did you hear that ding come on? Is that working on the with this microphone? And that also turned into an entry in Barbecue's Thermos event. Extravaganza. Vegas shooting garbage. I should say Vegas murders that they blame on that and whatever. So something happened where the lawsuit can't be continued against the manufacturer, I guess would be the complete topic here, really. The idea that they can't sue the manufacturer, correct? I don't really pay attention to. It's the cash register sound, I think. Isn't it? Or is it the sound of a gun going off? Or a suppressor? I guess I don't really know. It happened, and somebody's going to have to buy a lot more stuff, and then we'll be able to tell. So I didn't really watch this video, but I'm glad to see that that's a thing. And just to mention that if there's people out there constantly paying attention to the news, then you don't have to constantly pay attention to the news. You can just live your life and keep moving and not have to pay attention to the news. You know, with that, I think I'm going to take a second and stop for a moment because I meant to do this at the beginning of the video, and the way that it started, it just glitched and I wasn't able to do it. Okay, thanks. It's, yeah. Okay, that's, I think, what it's supposed to sound like is the old cash register opening type of bell. But this week I did get a couple of interesting things. I got a, what's that called? A Christmas card out of nowhere from somebody who I thought was out of the biz. I thought was out of the area of interest of firearms because I had not heard from the person in a long time. And, it's cool to get a Christmas card. I don't know if people do that. Everybody does that or not, if that's a thing. Being a dude, I don't get a lot of them. So it's neat to get one and to from that particular person who, like I said, I thought had been out of the game for a while. And then I also got a text out of nowhere from somebody, and I appreciate that also. So, you know, it's not Thanksgiving, but I don't give a shit. You know, I'm just going to, I wanted to take a minute at the beginning of the show to say thanks to the people that are out there that are participating in what we do, and the people that are out there just paying attention to what's going on out there. There's a heck of a lot of people in the world. There's a bunch of people in our community, in our realm or whatever. And then there's a bunch of people that are using all these tools that we use, and not everybody cares about what's going on. A lot of people are just paying attention or watching, observing, and casually paying attention. So it's cool to see that the people that are a bit more like a group or like a club or like whatever the hell we are, that, you know, they're out there and doing different things. So anyway, it's cool to be part of that, and just wanted to, I don't script this, so it didn't work very well, but a couple of those things that happened this week did make me want to take the second at the beginning of the show to focus on that, I guess, to say thanks, and to focus on the fact that we are bigger than just a bunch of people watching the news or something, like back in the day watching the TV tell us stuff, right? We got these comment fields, you know, we're in different stuff. Yeah. Does it sound better or no? What? No, I haven't talked to Haas in forever. Oh yeah, that's what I'm talking about now. Cycle camp, and yeah, he said that he was going to be there in April. Yeah, okay. I didn't want to out him because in case that was a secret or something, but Clover don't care. All right, so next up is Crump talking about the bump stock case. That's back when he worked for Gun Owners America. Remember back when he worked for Gun Owners America the day before yesterday? So that was, we lost the bump stock case in the 6th. And again, we've got, I guess I kind of use this one to spin off on this whole, like, you know, we can pay attention to the news constantly, listen to what they tell us to listen to, In other words, the antis, the people that hate us, the people that want us distracted, that want us spinning off into little vortexes of, inward momentum where we don't go anywhere. We just sit and spin around in a circle. Or we can let those folks who love it and thrive on it and are making money on it, let them do it. And just very, in passing, pay attention to that. Act when necessary, keep aware of it. But, what I'm saying? We just like when you drive past stuff on the road, you drive past a tire or a piece of wood or something on the road. You don't worry about it the rest of the drive. You were aware of it at the time and you kept going. If it happened a lot, you'd pay more attention and you might make a decision to change routes or something. You know what I mean? But I like to think we can get past this obsession with paying attention to the news of the day. But I do appreciate the people that are doing that, paying attention to it. So let's see. I'm not sure if he's still alive, but I'm not sure what he's doing out there. When all this stuff becomes, made for whenever it's available, then it'll be available. But until then, I don't know nothing until I know something, right? So let's see. So then you get Big Sandy. The machine gun shoot here in Arizona. I'm just going to go ahead and copyright real quick. Happens twice a year. And what is this? Some kind of stupid video game? Happens a couple of times a year. And one of the people who participate in it and has been, well, not just helping to not so much promote it, but to help facilitate the people who go out there with cameras since, well, when they first started, they didn't really like cameras out there. And then when video cameras and stuff, anytime anybody gets some bad press, they get gun shy, using a pun, about video cameras. But of the people that allowed the video cameras to get here, or to Big Sandy, Rob was one of those. And decent dude. And this is what do they call it? A conglomeration. I'm not sure if it's all his vid or if it's people contributed to it. But at some point here, and it might have already happened, let's see if I'm just going to use this maybe. There's a really good drone. This is it. There's some really good drone footage to give you some scale and some magnitude of Big Sandy. So this is, again, out in the desert. It's about halfway between Phoenix and Vegas. And it's just out here in the middle of nowhere. And this is all their property. And this is the firing line. You shoot off to the left here. This would be south, a little bit, southeast a little bit. In other words, if you just kept driving in a straight line, you'd eventually get to Phoenix. But this is the firing line. All these tents are the quarter mile or so of firing line. This is a full year when it takes all the way from the left. It always starts right here at the left. And then it goes sometimes to about here. And then on a full year, it keeps going like this. It's about as full as I've ever seen it. Whenever you see the tanks, they're usually down at this end where these blast tents are. So this is an incredible year. All the people that shoot out here are camped right here in this first line of campers. And then this second little line of campers over here is the 4-H in the area here. The 4-H shows up. That's a kids organization that's kind of like scouting for farmers. And they cook food, right? And then you can buy the food off of them, and then that raises a bunch of money for them. It's the only food out there, and it's decent. It's pretty good. Almost everybody has said they look forward to the food. And it's a bunch of kids doing it, and they're just really good, and they've gotten bigger and better every year. So what you're shooting at is 55-gallon drums, and half of them are filled with sticks of dynamite, and the other half are filled with aerial fireworks, the kind of fireworks that they would set off at a baseball field or Disneyland or something up in the air. So when they go off on the ground, they look like an explosion. They're really neat. And of course, when the dynamite gets hit, it sends an explosive like shockwave through the whole canyon there, which everybody can of, and it's amazing. So you smell the tannerite, you see the smoke, you taste the dust and the tannerite, and then of course you get that sensory thing of the tracers and the rounds going off, and then the disconnect between the sound and, you know, we see way faster than we hear. So you're just experiencing that parallax of sound and audio constantly and from different angles. When you're standing on one end of a quarter long, when we stop the video here, that's a quarter mile away. Somebody's shooting a machine gun somewhere over to our right. And everywhere in between on this quarter mile, there's potentially belt-fed, handheld, tripod-mounted, vehicle-mounted, mortars, all kinds of stuff going off. So just an awesome sensory experience. The whole time you're immersed in a warmth of freedom and camaraderie and, you know, exercising the stuff that makes America good. But then your every sense, every single sense, your taste, your smell, it's hot, it's dry, you're living in Arizona, and everybody out there shared the experience of figuring out how to get off the beaten path out into the middle of the desert on poorly marked roads to find this oasis of freedom. It's just a bonding experience that you can't put into words really good. But they do a great job in this 20-minute video wrapping it up, except for the parts that you can't experience. Like, they don't talk about the fact that all the spectators, you pay $20 and you can watch it for the whole weekend. Oh, and they do that whole thing at night. I forgot to say that each night there's a massive display of amazingness when all the tracers are shooting at those explosives and fireworks. But everybody who's the observers, the spectators, are camped down the hill on the other side, you know, behind the firing line. And the parties and the barbecues and tailgating is 9mm compared to what's happening at this place. So yeah, this is pretty neat. It'll never, Clover saying that you think Big Sandy may grow since Knob Creek is done. I don't think so, because Knob Creek you could drive up to, park, get out, and never get off the blacktop and experience it and go back to the Holiday Inn or to the Golden Corral or whatever. To get to Big Sandy, let's take a second and look at where Big Sandy is. How do I get to a good map? Never go to Apple Maps. Apple Maps below. So you come into Arizona, and there's the United States. You come into Arizona, there's Phoenix and Vegas, and literally, well, okay, maybe a little bit more than halfway, you get out of Vegas and you get past Wickiup and you get out into the middle of here. So here's Phoenix way down at the bottom of here. Here's Vegas up towards the top of here. In this middle and nowhere in between, Prescott is up here. J&G Sales is up here. So on this road that's going through nowhere, there's a whole bunch of old gold mines from back in the day along that road, but nothing now, just a bunch of nothing. You get to Wickiup, which is a town of like 4 gas stations and maybe a hotel or something, like old-fashioned hotel that's all abandoned now. And then you get past it. Oh, look, there's a thing on there now, and that never used to be there. And then you get to this weird places where you can pull off the road, and you got to figure out, you're either going to pull off way down here and tear up here. And not that I'm saying I've done this in the cop car dozens of times or anything, or people that are not cool will come over here and go the easier way into here. So that isn't the same as just driving up out of town and going to like a sporting event or something. So I just can't imagine anybody's gonna, you got to be a certain type to, and then there's no facilities, there's no electric, there's no plumbing, there's nothing at all. And it's completely safe and stuff. So there's no craziness either. So not that Knob Creek was crazy or nothing. I just think they're apples and oranges. They're both machine gun shoots. What I think might grow is one called the FAST, OFAST. So Oklahoma, how do you spell Oklahoma? Oklahoma Full Auto and trade show. So OFAST is a shoot that happens in Oklahoma, and you can tell by just going to the website. This is OFAST. It's nowhere near as big as Big Sandy, but it's bigger than Knob Creek was, I think, physically. And look at that firing line. Like, that's a bigger firing line than Knob Creek ever could have been. And that's a lot of guns. So I could see OFAST taken over from, and this is in Tulsa, effectively. So I think this one could take over. And will it? I hope so, because Mike's a good dude. The guy who runs it. And it would happen just north of Snob in Tulsa. All right. So anyway, hopefully I didn't get too copyrighted on that. There's a link to that video. It's 20 minutes long. I mean, I've posted a lot of videos from Big Sandy, but Rob has a way better video right there. Next up is Cash, who just got this Norinco at the bottom of this thing, and he's just taking great pictures. So I ripped off one of his pictures from Instagram. Oh, that makes me think, why don't we go take a look at the poll over here? We got 13 votes. Let's see, how am I going to do this? I have to, how do I do it? Stupid YouTube. Because of the YouTube, oh, come on. Because of their censorship, I can't even hardly copy all of that. So anyway, we'll end the poll, and then I will go to, where am I going to go? I'm going to have to go, don't look over here. I'm going to go into StreamYard, which I don't think we're legally allowed to show you inside of StreamYard, so don't look at this. Boom. And then we'll just go ahead and save that like this, and oh, maybe I can't. Must be selected. Oh, I can't. Look at that. It's telling me I can't. So evidently, StreamYard can't do that. So there you go, StreamYard. But I'll bet you I can go over here and do it. All right. Just don't move around a lot, and this won't be that uncomfortable. I'm just opening up the video that you're in right now, and I'm inserting something into the description. It's not going to hurt so much as feel like somebody's poking around inside you. It's not a big deal. It's just super uncomfortable. But in the end, what we'll have is the poll numbers listed in the description of the video, and everybody will be happy. So here's the deal. Because of YouTube censorship, they don't show us the polls, just the poll answers or whatever. So how do I go back? Just like that. All right, so the answers to the poll were, how do you think this was for 2A? 38% of the people, that's a majority of the 13 people that voted, said it was a good week. And then 23%, and let's see, 23% tied for it was okay and it was a bad week. And only 15% said it was a great week. And those are the people that were right. All the other people were wrong. So unfortunately, a lot of you people were wrong. All right, so now we're going to put in a poll for the Instagrams. Shall we look at the Instagrams tonight? Because I don't, I'm not going to force no Instagrams on people. I realize that I'm on the YouTubes over here, and a lot of you people hate the Instagrams. So we're going to see if people are busy. Maybe they got some other thing to watch. Somebody's quirkiness, something like that. There. So should we watch the Instagrams tonight? Yes or no? And then we'll add no, come on, man, because that gets the feds to click on it. Boom. They feel an obligation. All right. So we'll let that go and then go back to the list of stuff over here. So we were just talking about, I horked this photo off of Cash's Kalashnikov photo. And yeah, he's taking it to a nice, and I would say another level, only because he's using the dirty filter, and nobody's using the dirty hands filter anymore. Oh, I'm over here blabbing about how much I use the chat, and I'm not watching the chat. So Clover was saying about he forgot about the one. Did you know about this feature, Clover? I bet you don't even know about this feature. Like, I can star that and talk about it later. I'll talk about this later. I feel that, like, Texas needs the biggest machine gun chute. Maybe you need the biggest machine guns. Maybe you need more room. Maybe you don't have enough room for it. Let's see. We have a helicopter machine gun rental thing here that's pretty fun in the summer with hogs. You also have that tank thing. You can drive around tanks. So, I don't know. Are you suggesting that the states should compete for the best recreational shooting event or situation? That would be interesting. All right, so bad week coming in New Jersey for lots of really crazy anti-gun laws going to be voted on, and they're locking Republican side of the state house because most are making it so they can't even vote. I don't know if I'm allowed to say that shit, so I'm not going to say it. But all right. I haven't been watching, well, at least Tony hasn't been saying anything about New Jersey. He's probably the first person I pay attention to, or the person I pay attention to most in New Jersey. But I know that there are other people that are in New Jersey. Isn't John Z in New Jersey? But I haven't heard anything come up on my radar. I have not been really paying attention this week. It's been a pretty bad week. Let's see. If August, Texas is the best, then yes, I'm suggesting that. I've got some catching up to do. You got enough resources. So, be interesting. So now I can, at my leisure, I can go back and look at Clover's thing, see how I use that star. And now when I unstar it, it's not in my starred list anymore, but it's still highlighted. So yeah, he forgot about that one in Oklahoma only because it's in the middle of the year and nobody really goes to it. It's Father's Day or something, so it's super hot. But maybe they'll take the weekends of Knob Creek. That might be good. All right, so next we'll go to Banshee, his channel that does stuff, and he did a video about prepping for the today instead of fake prepping for movies or whatever. Well, it was pretty good. It was 45 minutes long, so you're going to be listening to it for a while. But good stuff. I would say I don't think I've linked to him before, at least not in a while. So I think who linked to that? It was either Clover or Barbecue linked over to it, I think. Or maybe Makojo. Somebody linked over to it, and I was like, well, if they're linking over to it, I'll take a look. And it was worth listening to. Let's see. Is this Barbecue? Okay, this is Barbecue getting a bunch of stuff. So made those 3D things for Barbecue, and looks like they got there okay. So thanks to Barbecue for buying stuff for sure. But also thanks to anybody who posts some kind of update that when you get the stuff, because I like to make sure the stuff gets there in one piece and, you know, then I'm packaged and decent. No, these aren't yellow stars because, like I say, they take them away. They're a blue star. It just lets you use this starred column to keep track. Because often, especially now that StreamYard, when we're paying for it at least, I can go all the way back to the beginning. For a while there, they were only giving us a cached amount, like a number of previous posts that we could look at. So now I can go back to something like this one and remember. I don't have to remember to look at it. I've got it in my starred now. And then there's that one from Clover that he keeps forgetting about. And then this one here. So now whenever I can go over here and there's that one. Oh yeah, remember this from like a long time ago? Now I can forget about it. Remember this one? Clover keeps talking about that? Yep. Okay, we talked about it. And then this one? Yep, we talked about it. I know a lot of other channels don't use these. I use all the features of StreamYard because I care. All right, next is Guns and Barbecue again. So what? I guess this guy's in here 3 or 4 times. Oh, this is because of the thing he's doing. So he's got some kind of shotgun shell thing that he's digging, some kind of thermos made out of a shotgun shell. So So it's not a very big thermos, but he's giving it away, and all you got to do is buy something from the store. There's lots of cool stuff over at our store. We have tactical socks. Let's go over to the store. Let's just take a look at the store and see what we got over there. Because I forgot. I've been moving stuff around because it's not Cyber Monday anymore. So we got a link to the eBay. We got a bunch of stuff on eBay. I think there's about 70 items over there still right now. But we got these socks. So this is some of the last stuff that was made on the machine before it broke down. I made these like 2 years ago, I think. Yeah, 2020. And, well, I guess last year. And these, oh yeah, these are the ones I made last year. There's one in here from 2 years ago that doesn't have a logo on it. But these are one of the ones I made last year. They're not good. They're not well made or nothing. They're made like a spaz who knows how to barely work a sewing machine. But they had our embroidery thing on them. And if you need one for like a dog or like a prank or like a novelty one or an extra one for pictures or to get chicks dig socks with stuff embroidered on them, then you want to grab one of these. We got a whole bunch of them. And like I say, there's some of the last things that are made with the machine. So they're all goofy and weird, but that's what gives them character. And they've got places to stick patches on. And they're all like $20 or so, and that includes shipping. And that's just one of the many awesome things. If you go to our store and click on the main page, you'll get Barbecue's video that'll explain the whole thing about the shotgun shell thermos and the barbecue lighter that he's offering. But then down below here, you'll see there's a whole bunch of stuff that we have in stock and ready to go to not only fulfill your awesome needs, but also support what we're doing over here. So we do appreciate the people that help keep our servers online. Those cost a couple of bucks every year or every month. And then the names and things, which are fun to pay for every year. And then the softwares that we use to make the content to put on those things. And what that does is it keeps the calendars up there and it keeps the different buyer's guides and knowledge bases up there so that folks that are researching, interested, can find the stuff. And then hopefully we're creating links to valid organizations and people, folks and accounts and things, and hopefully giving them a boost, giving them some shoulders to stand on. So I appreciate the people that help us do that. All right, so thanks to Barbecue for offering the incentive for folks to be part of all that by purchasing stuff from now until the 15th. How do you make something and ship it? Well, because of our Patreons. I didn't, I was able to make that stuff cheap and not trying to, well, you're right. So depending, $4 to $7 to $9 of it is shipping, and then whatever, $2 or something should be going to taxes or whatever. It's hard to do that. Remember to do that. But yeah, so that's where the $10 then, some of that is the product, and then the rest of it is helping to pay bills and stuff. A lot of this stuff is old, so it's easier to discount it because haven't paid for the materials anytime recently, right? But yeah, I appreciate it, and hopefully people that feel the same way will purchase stuff from the stores as well. We got the eBay, and we're soon to have the Etsy, where we're going to have some handcrafted items as well. Let's see. Next up in the list is the auction that happened up at Gun Freedom, well, at Pot of Gold Auctions, or Arizona Firearms, or Gun Freedom Radio, which we're more familiar with it as. And it's a pretty awesome auction. Their big gun auction each year is the Monday right after the big Small Arms Review show up in Phoenix. I didn't get to go up to the show, and I didn't get any of my items into the auction, but it was still fun to kind of watch it there for a while. Only a couple of people showed up, so I didn't keep watching it after too long. We quit watching it, but it was interesting to see the variety of stuff that was at the auction. So if you're interested, they do have auctions periodically, like every month or almost every week, but every month for sure. There's at least a couple of auctions each month, and we'll continue to keep watching them because I think it's fun to watch auctions. And even if you're not purchasing anything, it's neat to see what kind of price, what kind of not just the prices they end at, but what gets the action, what's hot. Let's see. So next up would be, oh, you know what? I just put this in here because whenever I'm able and I've got the interest to do it, I'll post a bunch of timestamps on something that's big and interesting and useful. So this is an hour something long interview with Mike and Jeff from Walk Talk America. Is it Jeff? Whatever the other guy's name is. Do they say? No. So ding one, they should say who their guests are, right? But Mike and the other guy from Walk Talk America are on here, and this guy very quietly talks. This guy talks loudly, and this guy rarely talks. And they ask him a couple of interesting questions and let these guys kind of riff on stuff for a while. And really interesting, really good interview, really good update if you've been following Walk the Talk America for a while. I mentioned this one last week, and I'm mentioning it again because it's so good. But I also wanted to go in and see if after 7 days, if this AAPIGO was paying attention to their video and if they thumbed up my thing or if they commented. Not that I feel it's necessary, just as an indicator of if they're paying attention to their channel. I suspect they're using Facebook, shoving it out here the same way that I do to Twitter, and they're just not monitoring what's happening on Facebook or on YouTube. So that was just something I did in front of everybody just to show you the kind of weird things I do when I'm on the internet and watching people do their thing on the internet. So I had meant to put that one in the end, but everything's all mixed up and screwed up with the order this week. So then we got Dragon Man's 75th birthday, I think. 76th birthday was the 7th. So that's an interesting thing. I don't know if I had Dragon. I think I did have Dragon Man's birthday in there, but I didn't remember that it was coming up. And I didn't remember that it was on the 7th of December. Let's see. So anyway, that was Dragon Man. He's always posting stuff. I would post more Dragon Man stuff, but he's constantly posting stuff. So half the show would be Dragon Man. But happy birthday to Dragon Man for sure. Then we got that new museum in Nevada, the Williams Family Museum. Can't get enough of them. And they posted 2 new videos this week. Yeah. He'd mentioned, he had talked about going down there and doing something on the regular. I don't think he was super motivated. It's not like next door. It's a couple hours away, I guess. So it's a couple hours each way. Unless he's planning on staying down there. Let's see. So then a couple of good videos. They are still kind of describing the displays. I'm not drinking coffee. I'm just drinking water. So we're going to do a commercial, and I'm going to drink some water, and maybe that'll make me stay awake here. So thanks to Erstwhile and the others for chatting. Maybe more chatting will keep me awake here. Oh, I'm almost going to click an ending. I don't want to do that. How about... Uh-oh. Wait a minute. What? Only one dude is willing to ask questions to a dude dragging in $12 million, who's proud of dragging in $12 million. Only one person is willing to sit down and ask him real questions. All right, so next up is the Williams Family Museum. Awesome, awesome. Definitely worth watching these. They're still talking about the displays, but they're kind of digging in. He's digging into them. And he has a lot of fun on the second one. And that's going to be neat to watch a dude nerd out and be a nerd with his guns and in his videos and stuff. So definitely worth checking out. Yeah, give them some likes. I don't think they even have 50 subs yet. 44 subs. Crazy. There's Cash. Just saying I horked one of your pictures over here. Yeah, definitely looking forward to more lives and whatnot with Cash over there. Let's see. After that, Oh, I guess that's it. So we've got the Instagrams. We'll take a look at the list over there, but for those folks that are going to want to check it out, we link to our Instagram saved list. So this is all the people that we go to Instagram. Let's say that we're on Instagram minding our business and looking around. And the Scottsdale Gun Club posts this. What is that? That Ruger aluminum 22. So we think it's so good. So what we can do is we can heart it, and that's like between us and everybody else in the world, because you can always go to a thing, right, and see who likes it. Like, oh, Defense Dad Buck Stanley and me all like this thing. So, everybody knows it. That's like virtue signaling. It's okay, but you're basically just joining a big club. So you could be like, I like this even more. And you could say something about it like, yay, I'm not going to do it to this one because that would be weird. But I could do it to this guy. He's not going to care. And go, yay. And then now people know that I dig this picture so much that I said yay on it. And then the next thing I could do is cram it up into my circles. I can't do it from here because of Instagram is trying to be phone centric, and I'm doing this from a computer. But on my phone, if I kick that paper airplane, it shoves it up into my little circles up here. And that's like telling the world, I like this picture so much. And then the most important thing you could do that makes the logarithm so happy, like the logarithm's leg starts wiggling when you do this, is you click on this. And when you click on this, it puts it into your saved files. So it's like good, better, even better, and this makes its leg wiggle. Now, when you stick it in there, you can stick it in just in there, or you can stick it in there somewhere specific. So if you stick it in there to, let's say, this folder, or how many folders, you can have as many folders as you want. Look at how many folders I got. You don't have to keep up with how many folders I have. I have more folders than a lot of people because I like to organize my stuff over there. But in regular system, you just click on this and it goes into your main folder, and that's what I click. That's what we link to. So that's a little bit I like to explain about Instagram, because I like Instagram. A lot of people don't care about Instagram. They don't respect the gram. They don't like it, and they don't know how to use it. And when you don't know how to use it, you're just a chump. You're just hanging out observing. When you know how to use it, you're that cool kid with the card in your spokes, running all around doing your thing, popping wheelies. So use Instagram like popping wheelies or whatever. All right, so now let's go find out if we're going to stay on Instagram or if we're going to close out of Instagram. All right, looks like we're going to go look at Instagram. So I always let the audience decide by using a poll. A lot of people that do live chats don't care about the audience. They don't care about you people. So they just do whatever they're going to do. I always ask. I'm interested and curious, and we do whatever the audience wants. So they want to go look at Instagram, we're going to go look at Instagram. Let's see. Whenever I can talk about what I can talk about, I'll talk about it. I guarantee. Next up, we're going to be looking at Instagram. Now, here's the deal. What I did tell you is we're looking at Instagram. What I didn't tell you is we haven't looked at Instagram in 2 weeks. So we're going to have a lot of Instagram to look at here. So get yourself a cup of coffee if you're like me, super cold, or something else to drink, because we're going to be here for a little while. I think I'm going to start with this one because I think this one is, if you hear about some kid playing on or TikTok with the makeup or whatever, I bet you didn't think it could be something like this. Oh, wait, are you going to be able to hear this?
I am. Nothing special about being American. None of you can define for me what an American is. I am the nation. I was born on July 4th, 1776, and the Declaration of Independence is my birth certificate. The bloodlines of the world run in my veins because I offered freedom to the oppressed. I am many things and many people. I am the nation. I'm 200 million living souls and the ghost of millions who have lived and died for it. I'm Nathan Hale, Paul Revere. I stood at Lexington and fired the shot heard around the world. I'm Washington, Jefferson, Patrick Henry. I'm John Paul Jones, the Green Mountain. Navy truck. Lee.
I thought that was pretty cool. So, yeah, if you sit around hearing people talk about playing makeup on TikTok, you don't think about that. All right, so this was Tatiana Whitlock showing about how they do these classes in their regular clothes so that, you know, the girls are always wearing goofy shoes and stupid shirts and whatnot. So if they ever actually have to use a firearm when they're wearing their goofy clothes and stupid shoes, then they don't fall over or freak out. And back in the olden days, we would tell the chicks, don't wear stupid shoes and dumb clothes to the range. And then after a while, the chicks started saying, I'm going to do what I feel like and shoot how I am. And then it's like, all right, as long as you're doing it with intent, rock on. So now the girls do what they want. Oh, look at this. Am I having bad internet? Am I connected? I don't think I'm connected to the internet anymore. Oh, shouldn't have done that. Ugh, what's happening? This is how bad at internets I have. Other people have good internets. I don't have good internets. Okay, well, I'll try to keep going here. So, see, all of my pictures aren't showing up. I don't remember which picture I was on. So what am I going to do? I'm going to try to stop it from loading, and I'm going to hit the shift key, and now I'm going to hit the refresh key. And that should force a refresh and make the browser go through the internet pipes and request all new files from the server that it came from, and thus giving me a whole new set of files. More than likely, the internet's a set of tubes, and these pictures had clogged the tube. That's all that happened. All right, so then let's see. Where were we? We're going to go to, let's not forget that if this is correct, Biden plans to hire 87,000 new IRS agents. That's enough to fill some kind of sports thing twice. That's probably a lot of people. That's more than the population of his hometown, which was only 70,000 people. 86,000 IRS agents could fill the Roman Colosseum almost twice. That many IRS agents, 86,000, almost 87,000 IRS agents, could fill the stadiums in Salt Lake, Houston, someplace with sports. I don't know why they use sports. Like somehow that's going to scare sports people, I guess. Anyway, it's also going to cost, if we charge them the least amount, if we pay them the least amount of money, $33 million a year in salary. If we pay them more than that, $50 million a year in salary. That's a lot of money. That's 3 times more than NAGR brings in 1 year. Let's see. So next we got Style Me Tactical, one of the girls. Oh yeah, I've definitely showed these already. So this is, she did some sort of like little heads up for the girls to like not be dumbasses and have your stuff stolen or be oblivious while people are stealing your stuff. It's pretty good because you can tell them, you can mansplain to them, but they don't listen. They have to talk, they have to tell each other. So it's good to see that they're telling each other. I think I was done with all that. So I'm going to go to this one. What is this one? This one says Junior Pan Am individual air rifle gold medalists Mary Tucker and Rylan Kissel teamed up on the last day of the competition to win air rifle mixed team gold at someplace 2021. So Pan Am Sports. There you go. So this is USA Shooting is basically Olympics. They got to do stuff to qualify. They got to do stuff to compete and, you know, hone their abilities and whatnot. Get, you know, shoot under stress and all that. Clover, I don't know if he's ever done anything. Why they all wear these leather clothes all the time, but it's interesting. I like look. I don't like watching shooting sports because it's super boring, but they look cool with all their leather clothes and their goofy looking guns and stuff. And think about how that's got to be for the youngins. They must love this. And that's what they are, youngins, and this is for the youngins, and it's also international competition and camaraderie and sportsmanship. It's all good. USA Sport and Shooting could probably use people's support. Let's see. This is how I carries. I don't know why I put this one in here, to be honest. She does better videos. I'd maybe just because she hadn't done one in a while. So anyway, she does a bunch of little TikTok videos like that. So this one is from Rebecca Schmoy saying, enough is enough. It's time to ban gun-free zones. More than enough lives have been lost while politicians and anti-rights activists play make-believe by stripping citizens of their right to defend themselves and pretending that it makes us safe. It's time to be prepared to protect. So I don't know if you like these. You know, it's all about your brain and what you're interested in absorbing or whatever. So, you know, this might plug right into some people, and she's consistent. She puts a lot of these up there, and great point of view for sure. And I like to encourage people that are just constantly working. Oh, speaking of somebody who's constantly working, so Crump is saying this is from December 1st. It's from a while ago. Like I say, I haven't done Instagrams in a while. Tomorrow, Senate Dems will attempt to pass universal background checks without taking a vote. So that was an effort to get everybody to call Congress people. I know this one dude out here likes to put the numbers for the Congress people out there. And I think even if it isn't, I don't want to say it's crying wolf, right? Or sky is falling, chicken littling, because every once in a while we need the practice, and every once in a while they need to know we're out here. So I thought that was a good, you know, just a little FYI. Hey, you know, we're still out here. I'm going to go back over to the comments because I'm missing stuff. As long as you're doing it with intent, right on. Ken Blanchard, where do we miss Ken? I might have Ken in here. Padding for comfort stiffens makes any, what? Padding for comfort stiffens your frame a bit. Oh, you're talking about the leather jackets and stuff. Padding for comfort stiffens your frame a bit. Muffles any pulses. Oh, okay. I knew about the stiffens your frame a bit because some of the old guys who shot when I was volunteering out there would talk about how they would, you know, oh, I wasn't strapped in. Like they'll strap themselves in. It's like a straitjacket. They'll strap themselves all in, and they don't really get to move very much. The leather itself is holding them kind of in position, and then all they really do is kind of tweak their muscles a little bit. So I knew about that part, but I didn't think about the pulse part. That would make a big difference when they're all shooting in the same hole. All right, so again, this is from December 1st, but Civil Air Patrol is awesome, and it was their 80th birthday. So Civil Air Patrol's 80th birthday, this is from the Pima Air and Space Museum here in Tucson. It says, here's a restoration of our Stinson L5B Sentinel that served with Civil Air Patrol from 1956 to 1969 after its duties in Europe with the 8th Air Force and U.S. Army Ground Forces from 44 to 56. The Model B was equipped with an extra-large door for service as a frontline ambulance aircraft. You'll see in the fourth photo. The Civil Air Patrol, founded on this day, on December 4th, 1941, began utilizing civilian aircraft and aviators to help defend the nation in the early days of World War II and continues to perform search and rescue, disaster relief, and homeland security to this day. Actually, I never thought about that, but they probably have been tasked with more duties since I was in. So I was in Civil Air Patrol as I was a kid, kind of parallel with Scouts, and it's awesome. If you don't know about it, I encourage you to check it out. If you got a kid that likes anything that's cool, then I would suggest they check out Civil Air Patrol. It's awesome. And Scouts sucks now, so at least it's sucking really bad. So Civil Air Patrol is not going to fulfill what Scouts did at all. It's separate and totally different, but it's awesome. And it's got an awesome history. And yeah, this is the picture where they show the big weird looking door, where I guess they used it as an ambulance. Civil Air Patrol actually winged a couple of bombs out of planes like this at Nazi submarines, which is kind of neat when you're a little kid you're not even 16, you have a pilot's license, and you're in an organization that has a history of winging bombs out of airplanes at Nazis, that's a cool way to be when you're a little kid. It's really cool. Cool club to be in. So this is that situation in whatever. This is the first I'd seen it. So this is from November 30th. I don't know how it came up. Am I going backwards? But that was the first time I had seen that one. So obviously it turned into a whole little thing, but my goal isn't to talk about the news or every little instance like that. I'll leave that to the channels that make a living on that. So here's another one from Rebecca Schmoy. Anyone else annoyed when the establishment paces the... Oh, I'm not going to get into all this, but there's another example of her type of message, the way that she sends them. So I'm going to just jumping over to her channel. It's not like she only does this. The ones that I tend to share are the ones that are kind of like that format, but you can see she's just having fun in some of them. She's sending out specific messages sometimes, and then these kind of like thoughts of the day type of things as well. But so I put them up sort of as an example of the kind of stuff she's doing. There's Cash again. I really like this one. I've got prayer rugs. I don't know what the hell these are. These look more like some kind of scarf or something. So they look pretty good. I would have thought at first like that's way too much going on, but no, that looks great. And it's part of the Dirty Hands filter he's using or something. But those look great. And yeah, digging it. What's going on? Why is it not clicking for me? So this is, I followed the Los Angeles Police Museum. Half the time they suck bad, and the other half the time they're really good. So this one is kind of neat. It's got the old-fashioned, I don't know what this is, maybe 70s uniforms. What does it say? But using the old-fashioned box with the dial phone. So yeah, probably 60s even, maybe. I don't know. Anyway, just kind of a cool picture. Sometimes they post good stuff. I don't know. There was a couple of them that they've taken clips from interviews and stuff and posted them. And I think this is the one that I had liked. Somewhere about 50 seconds in or 30 seconds in, Mike is just sort of saying something, and he really summarizes the Walk the Talk America message really well. Basically, the idea, what I think is the most important part, or one of the most important parts, the side where the concept of I'm not going to listen to the whole 2 minutes, but if this is the one I'm thinking of, the whole idea that when they went to the gun side, they felt resistance and they had opportunity to talk to people about what I mentioned before with suicide awareness, that's 2 out of every 3 deaths. So we have the potential, the opportunity to talk about saving lives and stopping people from messing with our law, with our property and laws about our property at the same time. And then while that message is on our side, let's say, on the other side with doctors, they were able to make great strides letting doctors know about some of the concerns that gun owners had and some other just logistical issues that gun owners had never been able to describe or get across to medical professions. So the Walk the Talk America is working on both sides of the coin for individual rights. So it's really cool. And Mike kind of summarizes it here and sort of in the middle of that one, I think. This is the content creator formerly known as Budget Guns and Gear is using the power of robots like most everyone now that's keeping up with the future. He's using robots to do his bidding, and now he's using robots and the power of lasers. He's basically shining a bright enough light at leather that it's burning the leather. That's the kind of technology we deal with today. And he's bragging about it on the YouTube or on the Instagram. This is the DC project. Why did I post this one?
American homes having a firearm. It is important that we teach.
Can you hear it from here? Do I need to take the headset off?
Career education and other firearms-related programs have proven statistics of reducing fatalities by more than 90%. It is important that we make our families safe by teaching them today.
they can produce the hell out of stuff sometimes, and then other stuff is not produced well. That's one of the better produced things, and probably a reaction to the whole agenda of the other side. Thanks. The whole agenda of the other side suggesting that firearms education is either brainwashing or not necessary. So they're using a weird double agenda. How cool would it be if we had such a handle on our side and where we're at that we could be paying attention to the strategies of the other side? Or if we just had enough distribution of resources on our side that we had some resource set aside on our side to specifically pay attention to their strategies and their playbook. I think that would be to our advantage. All right, next up is speaking to our advantage, not what's to our advantage. So I don't like everything everybody does, and that's probably why I don't have any sponsors and why nobody ever wants to invite me to their reindeer games. But so I'm a big fan of American Suppressor Association. They've done some awesome shit, but then they also do this shit, and I hate it. So, oh, great, we have a more convenient way to be infringed. Like, I'm never going to agree with that. It doesn't have to be either or, but I'm never going to be happy that we have more convenient ways to be infringed. So I just posted this so that I could bitch. That laser turned into this. It's basically a way for him to hold credit cards, I guess. Boom. This is one of my favorite pictures in a while. So this one is from the Well-Armed Woman. Holy crap, I'm falling asleep. And it's awesome because it's everything, right? It's the whole idea that, like, even somebody who isn't equally armed can outnumber you, can be bigger than you. And this equals the playing field. And it's specifically an AR-15. I like it. And it's specifically a little lady who's holding her finger correctly, and she's standing her ground. It's awesome. So I don't know where it came from. It's not signed or nothing. Oh, no, actually it says from USCCA Concealed Carry Magazine. So I don't usually like stuff concealed carry USCCA does, but I gotta like that one. That one's pretty awesome. Let's see. So Girl in a Gun is an awesome organization that has been around for a while, and it was created by Juliana Crowner, and it was her birthday. So I kind of put this in here for me more than anything so that I can add it to the calendar, because that's one of the things I do for some reason is keep track of stuff like this for the what do you call it? The gun calendar, the almanac. I'm going to go to this one, and this is Star Snoop Dogg in Oklahoma. And this one is an oldie, but pretty good. So you can hear this, I guess, DJ was saying. I'm just going to go back and let you hear it.
So how many guns should a normal person have? About 5. That sounds like a gun enthusiast. No, gun enthusiasts have about 15. 15? That sounds like someone who's obsessed with guns. No, people who are obsessed with guns have hundreds. Now that sounds like a psycho. No, psychos seldom own guns, and if they do, it's 1 or 2. But 1 or 2 sound like a normal person. A normal person has about 5. We have already covered this.
So that one's been around for a while, but she did a pretty good version of it. If you heard that one, I thought that was pretty good. Let's see. So this one is a place called Dong's Guns in Tulsa. It's a cool gun shop that's got a paint job like a zebra, and it's a really cool gun shop inside. Old, top to bottom, tons of stuff. Like, in other words, the walls are covered from the top, from the ceiling to the floor, with pegboard and stuff and piles of things, and the shelves are overflowing with stuff, and it's probably impossible to inventory. But a cool store to just dig around and dig into. There's tons of old stuff in there. So this is a post where they go, it is said that Americans own an estimated 393 million guns, a number that accounts for nearly half the world's firearms ownership. It says then we can do better. Christmas is coming, buy more guns. But I like that sentiment that people forget that, yeah, we have a massive number of them and yet very few issues. And that's something that they always ignore, right? They're setting the stages, they're setting the parameters for the conversations, and we don't need to stay within their parameters. We can make them understand that they're concerned about the outliers and the very rare circumstances when we have such a great number that they're concerned about. They also cannot be concerned about their phobia, which is a phobia because of the great number and the lack of issue. They have a phobia. They're concerned about something that doesn't exist, right? There you say, hey, Bob. Bob's out there. Let's see. Then we got Tony Simon posting a pretty good one. How to prevent mass murders, how to prevent murder, same crime, but the political agenda is to use mass murders to strip away our ability to own firearms. More laws, including the death penalty, never resulted in having zero murders. Your safety is your responsibility. And that's one of those things that I don't know where he was going with that one necessarily, other than to kind of give people another perspective on it, another point of view. But that whole idea that there's already a death penalty. So if a law was going to prevent stuff, that law would prevent it. But there's things that people do in spite of the fact that there's an ultimate law like that. And it's another angle, another route, another conversation to have with folks, another tact to have with folks when you're having these kind of conversations.
Princess Diana came to Hereford with Prince Charles.
Okay, so this one is a dude who's in the SAS or was in the SAS, and this is a flashback to a conversation he had in a podcast called Combat Stories. And this is an awesome story about Princess Diana when she was, she would have to show up once in a while to be involved in the training so that she understood if something were to happen, and the SAS, you know, the special operations guys in England, if they had to run in and do something because she was in danger, she needed to know the procedures on what she was expected to do or what they were going to be doing. So she needed to be involved in their training to some extent for familiarization. And this is a story about one of those sessions or one of those familiarization times.
Princess Diana came to Hereford with Prince Charles when they were married. And we did a practice building song, and asked her if she wanted to drive one of the Range Rovers up to the building, and we would leap across this Range Rover up ladders, assault the building, firing pyrotechnics. And she undid the window slightly to let the fresh air in. And one of the pyrotechnics went off by the window, and it caught the lacquer on her hair on fire. And a guy called, we'll just call him Ginge, he opened the door quickly, pulled her out, and started to beat her around the head and to put flames out. And I thought, I'll have a little bit of that. So I gave him a little bit of help, because how many chances do you get to hit a princess? And she was famous at that time for having a very brown haircut. And of course, her hair had got burned. And so they got a hairdresser in that afternoon in town. And then Vogue magazine had her with this new pixie boy haircut in the evening. And it became the new fashion around the world, courtesy of the special air. Courtesy of you guys. Princess Diana came to Hereford. That's
fucking awesome. So that's the kind of story you hear on that guy's podcast called Combat Story. George saying royal family would be involved in the killing house training for CQB, right? So that they would kind of not freak out, right? If all of a sudden guns were flying around everywhere, which makes sense. Plus, they seem like they were pretty capable, like not prissy type of folks. So then we get Ginny Thrasher, big fan of hers. She's helped to translate, to help understand, or to help I guess translate the stuff when USA Shooting was doing the Olympics months ago or whatever. So I started following her channel, and now she's doing coaching for shooters, for competition shooters, Olympic style competition marksman shooters. And she does it through Patreon. And these are some of the, but this is one of the products that she's created, a poster for gun ranges to put up. And then it links to her Patreon coaching service. So I think that's pretty neat to be able to get an Olympic level shooting coach to coach you individually or your team. And she's super cool. So it's interesting to see her do her stuff over there. And at some point, it's interesting to see if any of these competition people start being more involved in 2A, right? Hopefully long before their firearms ever become at risk or at danger. So this is that podcast I had talked about earlier, the one from Walk Talk America, the one from AAPI gun owners, and over on the YouTube. This one is being posted by Mike, and this is just a blurb from it. There's so many good blurbs from this one, though I don't even remember which one this one is, but I knew I wanted to put it in here for sure. I wanted to include Sportsman, so if you're going to be buying crap, buy it from Sportsman's. They're a company that's in Minnesota. They're good people, and they do support and have supported a bunch of us people I know. And they're good people, and they, if you're going to spend money, spend it with a company that supports us, right?
What is the exhibitor count?
So then Clover out there had an interview with dude from NSSF, and evidently they thought it was good enough to share it on their Instagram over here.
What is the exhibitor count this year compared to other years? Has that grown as well with the addition of Caesars?
Yeah, it has actually. We're going to be just over 2,500 exhibitors, and again, we're very, very excited. We even because we have the Caesars expansion, there were a number of companies that have been on the wait list for many years for the SHOT Show, and we're actually able now to accommodate not all. We still have some constraints in terms of space, believe it or not, but we're going to be able to accommodate most of the exhibitors that want to be part of SHOT Show. We have a new program called SHOT Extra, which will be at the Caesars Forum, and that will include new companies that are new to exhibiting at SHOT Show that want to be able to talk to the media and get their new products exhibited and shown to the world. And so we have a lot of new first-time exhibitors. We're really excited about that. We have an entire what we call supplier showcase, which is an expansion of what we had started in 2017. And we're going to have over 500 suppliers to the industry. This will include everyone from people that do plating on gun parts, to law firms, to accounting firms, to you name it, pin screws. If they supply parts to the industry, we've got over 500 of them exhibiting now at the SHOT Show. So that I know when I was at Mossberg, we would have our engineers go and look for new suppliers, new partners to work with, and it's a very successful and very exciting part of the show that maybe the media isn't as doesn't really appreciate as much as the member companies do. But again, it's a business show, and we're here for our members and to allow them to have time to look at technical matters or other potential suppliers and partners. It's a really good thing, I think.
What is the exhibitor?
And then the scary part is Clover listens to the whole question and then asks them the same question, or listens to the whole answer and then asks them the same question again.
This year compared to other years, is that?
The guy answers it.
What is the exhibitor count?
And Clover answers the question again. So aside from that, that was a pretty good post. Let's see. Then you got shooting parasport. So everything we talked about with USA shooting, except now people are differently abled and challenged. So even better. Except that except that a-holes decided to withdraw us from the parachuting sports this year or next year. So lame. bonus question. What's this orange curly Q thing right here? What do you think this orange curly Q thing is in this picture? Do you know what it is? You could type it in there if you know what it is and you are around. So we must be getting near the end because I think I posted this one today. But it's a picture of these little kids in a cage next to this Doberman. And it says, my kids are coming to visit, but they don't like dogs. Do you mind locking them up? And that's what happens when you're a jerk and a Doberman is awesome. So that's from Pets for Vets, which is an awesome organization. And if I was on a phone, I would have shoved that up to my circles. But the best I could do is cram it into here. Oh, maybe that wasn't, well, it was from today, but I guess I have a couple others. So this one is an old ad from Remington, I guess, from back in the olden days. And yachted. It's from Stephen Holbrook, who's an author and a researcher. And I just like to post people who post interesting things. So this one particularly says, here's a great old Christmas advertisement from Remington. Anyone remember getting a 22 for Christmas when they were young? This ad is from Mechanics Illustrated of 1954. And I just like to post people like, say, like Stephen, who have done a lot of stuff and are doing interesting things, but don't get a lot of attention or spotlight. Let's see. Do I ever remember getting a 22? Yeah. Like I got a 22 for Christmas many, many years. Not the same one. Like, you know, I've acquired many 22s over the years when I was a youngin'. And I'm pretty sure I have this looking thing, or at least one that looks very close to that, but made by Mossberg and Sons. And then, thank you to Girl in a Gun for posting this. I'm linking this here, also to remind me to post this over on the calendars. But Girl in a Gun posted their 2022 calendars. No, that's not my internet lagging. Well, my internet also looks like it's lagging, I guess. But I keep yawning. Like, I'm definitely falling asleep here. Let's see. So there got a bunch of stuff going on. We got the National Conference, April 28th through May 2nd in Colorado. So what is a Girl in a Gun? Last year it was 400. This year it should be 500 something ladies get together in Colorado from April 28th through May 2nd. So what is that? 5 days? And they talk about how to be better shooters, how to be better instructors, and how to be better Second Amendment advocates. That's the goal of their organization, 400 to 500 ladies strong. And they don't get hardly any attention. Then they have, in addition to that, February and August, they're going to have a Glock getaway, which who knows what that is, probably girls doing Glock things. Then they have Three Gun University in May and September, which I'm assuming is some sort of like introduction to how to shoot three gun competitions or something. And that's in, whenever you see Raton, New Mexico, that means the NRA shooting range in Whittingham Center. And that's one of those things that people that want to dismiss the NRA don't want to talk about the largest shooting facility that's open to the public in the United States, run by the NRA, donated by some rich guy, I think. Let's see. Then you got the USCCA instructor getaway, which will happen twice, November and in June in Wisconsin, because USCCA is in Wisconsin, I think. But I believe you're supposed to say Wisconsin. Then you got sniper school. What? Are girls allowed to sniper? I guess for 6 days they're gonna. And that's also in Colorado. Then you got a Walter getaway, which is redundant because nobody wants to go to that, but I guess somebody does. That's in Fort Smith, Arkansas. I think Walter is imported to Arkansas. That might be why that's happening. Back the Woman in Blue. I think that has something to do with the police. That's in Round Rock, Texas in October. Oh, see, that's not a specific date, but at least we know it's coming. Fall Fest, September. I never heard of that. So is that new? It's like it's got its own logo and everything. Fall Fest, September. Wait a minute. Do I know about this? I don't know. And then you got Upland Adventure, which I don't know what that is, but I'm guessing shooting innocent little birds that are minding their business. And that's in November and December in Kansas. So Are you kidding me? This organization, which is for girls only, right, is going to be getting 500 of them together to learn how to be instructors, better shooters, and Second Amendment advocates. And then they have the audacity to have their own Glock getaway twice a year, have their own universities for learning how to be better competition shooters, have some sort of getaway for themselves to be instructors in addition to their national conference, and they do that twice a year, and then all that other stuff I mentioned. That seems like a lot, and they do all that, and then they improve on that and do even more. And then there's people that only watch the news and sit around with their thumbs up their asses, moaning and groaning because we're losing. The only people losing are the people that aren't paying attention to what the girls have already won. This is established. This isn't like, maybe we should do this. Maybe it would be great if we do this. You know what would be good if this was happening? Oh, blah, blah, blah. They've been doing it. They're already doing it, and they've done it. And this is what they're going to do again next year. It's crazy. So that's what this show's all about, is let people know that we're not beholden to pay attention to what's fed to us. Go figure it out. And this is just by watching an Instagram feed. I think that might be the last one. Oh, no, it's not. So you might not like this one. I didn't like this one. So this is the last one, and it's creepy. So here you go.
Question. If you are physically able and willing, can you please stand if you know of someone who has experienced sexual assault, whether it be a friend, a family member, a coworker, or even yourself? Take a look around.
So they all
Now, the
stood up.
second question I have for you. If you know that that person reported their assault, please stay standing. If to your knowledge, they did not report their assault, please quietly sit down.
There's like 8 girls in that whole auditorium still standing up. Oh, I guess it doesn't work if I talk when it's on their side thing. Anyway, so that's one of those things that is interesting visual, right? Of interesting visual impact or whatever. All right, with that, that's the Instagram for a couple of weeks. We didn't do it last week because nobody voted for it last week. So now you got double the amount because everybody last week hated Instagram. All right, that's the end of that. I don't think there's anything else. With that, we can end it. Thanks everybody for showing up live. We went about an hour and 38, so that's about 90 minutes for those of you working in metric. That's the end of the Patreon post as well. We like to thank the people over on Patreon for the time it takes to just put it together and present it each week. It's a pleasure to do it, and we're glad to be able to do it. And we don't have sponsors. We're not beholden to anybody. We're able to do it because of about 150 people that throw a couple of bucks at us each month, and that accumulates and lets us do this kind of stuff, including our projects out there on the web, the calendars and the informational stuff, the archival stuff, and then the things we do to help promote others. And then, of course, the what do you call them? The social media presence out there, not everywhere, because I don't go to Facebook specifically or Twitter very much, but you know the deal, the thing that is. I usually post in here also if you'd like to join and be part of the wrap up. I put the offer out there to Patreons, so obviously nobody's really taking me up on it, but I do like to let people know it's out there. With that, I'm going to throw the link out here if anybody wants to jump in after. You're welcome to jump in and chat off air when it's all done. To the people that are watching out there live, again, thanks. I don't like doing stuff just to do it. So doing the live stuff is an opportunity to have a conversation. So DJs out there, appreciate you dropping links. You do that not just for us, but for lots of places. Messing up. Well, Instagram is like a lot of things, you know, it's, you gotta deal with it. I haven't run into that specific one, but I've certainly run into my issues over there as well. George jumped in towards the end there. Gunmetal is out there. And probably not going to be able to hit everybody unless I miss somebody. It's unintentional. We got Makojo, Biker Bob is out there, or was out there. Clover might still be out there, so, although it's late for him. He goes to bed. Cash was out there for a bit. Thanks for jumping by or jumping in and saying, hey. Soylent, I think that's you're new. I don't remember seeing your name out there. 2A all day. Thanks about that. It cost $20. So big time. It's one of them fancy mics like they use downtown. Thanks for the feedback out there. And G23 was in earlier, who was a guest on Echo show, which I didn't put in here, but I should have. So Echo is out there always, not always, but has been posting interviews with interesting folks. And today it was G23. So that's pretty neat. You're asking what kind of filament you want. They're going to send you some for Christmas. So I appreciate that. So for the 3D printer, right now I'm running a glow-in-the-dark green and a green. The green was given to me for a project, so that was free. And then the glow-in-the-dark was sent to me by Foss, so that was free. Foss also sent me that tie-dye, like sparkly kind where it changes colors. And I have maybe a half of that left. So I've got a bunch of that Tutti Frutti colors. I've got, I don't know, like a half of the glow still. I don't know why that glow, it seems to last a long time. And then I'm almost out of the green, actually. I might stop using the green. And here's the thing. Foss sent me those two colors just as I had bought glow-in-the-dark blue and clear. So that's where I'm at. I have a little bit of black left that you sent me. I think you sent me black, right? And that's kind of a shinier black than a friend gave me some flat black, or vice versa. Either you guys both sent and gave me black. One of them was shinier than the other. And I've got about a half of one of those blacks left. And then, so I think now that I'm saying it, I would need a white. So if you want to send a white or a bone color or some sort of a marble color, one of those kind of colors, I think it would be neat to see stuff in marble. I don't know, it has specks in it or something, so it kind of looks like it's carved. That would look cool, right? Or bone sounds neat, like making skulls and things out of a bone color would be super cool. Or just plain old white, right? So any of those three colors you feel like would be neat, that would be cool. Appreciate it. And then we'll send you some stuff and make some stuff. My one friend, we were just chatting before this show off air, and he was showing me a place called, now I can't remember the name of the place. We don't have it here. It's in California, Texas, Illinois, Pennsylvania, and Nebraska, I think. But it was some store that if you walked into the store, not on the internet, but you had to walk in, you could get an Ender 3 Pro for $99, which is something like normally $169 or more. $99 if you walked in. And I can't remember the name of the store. It's like something like Electric City or something. But we don't have them here. But anyway, yeah, I think those printers are pretty freaking neat. Anyway, so yeah, we'll be printing a bunch of stuff. Got a couple of other projects in the works. And I talked with Barbecue about doing some live patch stuff. So stay tuned for that on Wednesday. We're going to cork Matt probably and go live right on top of Matt, doing some live patchery. So that means I'll probably be doing some patchery. Now that I got this crazy microphone, I might do more live stuff. Let me know if you got ideas for live stuff. And then, like I said, the link is out here if you want to jump in for the after. Sometimes folks jump in and we chat. Sometimes nobody jumps in and I just go to sleep. So either one will happen. One of those will happen tonight, I suppose. Let's see. I'm going to throw up the things that we put up at the beginning, the whole thing, to say thanks to our Patreons. These are the folks that make it possible for us to do what we're doing. Oh, hold on. Let me get rid of this. These are the folks that make it possible for do what we're doing. It's about 150 people that throw down something like either a buck all the way up to $25. Some people even more. Places like Sportsman's Guide use Patreon to support folks like me and others. And yeah, it's awesome. So we do appreciate it. It keeps the bills paid and keeps those servers running. Yeah, I've been having to do things besides the live. I've been thinking about that. I watch every once in a while for like a moment or two. It just, it's a lot of time involved, and I've been spending my evenings trying to get stuff situated so that I can sell everything I don't want so that I can keep the stuff I need. Does that make sense? So anyway, putting a lot of time into that. Hopefully it'll start to pay off here. But I think tonight, since Smeggy hasn't been around, I'm going to use Smeggy. Let's see. Today is Friday night, so that means you got Travis in the morning. I think Rick still does a show. You got G23, who was a guest on Echo show earlier. He'll do his show tomorrow. Barbecue talks about meat in the evenings. And let's not forget Suicide Prevention Saturday. One of the best shows all week will be on Saturday. I'm guessing Locked and Loaded is on Sunday. Foss is taking the weekend off, so he won't be around, I don't think. And then you got Gizzard on Sunday. So that's a little taste of the live stuff that's... What am I doing? Clicking on the wrong thing here. That's a little taste of the live stuff that might happen throughout the weekend, or that normally happens throughout the weekend. Again, thanks for showing up live. We'll be back to pick you up later. Who did I say I was going to use? Oh, I was going to use Smeggy, right? Thank you for supporting our projects. If you'd like to buy us a cup of coffee, check out our Patreon channel.
The guys and gals at gunwebsites.com encourage you to take a CCW class every year, practice at least once a month, and carry every day. Thank you for watching gunwebsites.com. Do 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 do.